Hot takes, great debates, highlights, basketball. There's been a rumor circulating around the NBA, and it's just a rumor, just throw this caveat out there, that the Milwaukee Bucks will entertain trade offers for their starting point guard, Eric Bledsoe. All right? If you don't remember, Eric Bledsoe, right before the season ended last year, he signed a 4-year, $70 million extension to stay with the team, which essentially meant that the Bucks, a small to mid-market team, they had to lose Malcolm Brogdon, and they did, to free agency. And Brogdon got like $85 million with the Pacers. I didn't expect the Bucks to give Bledsoe $70 million and then $85 million to Malcolm Brogdon. I didn't expect them to do that. They got to pay Giannis over $200 million in the next year or so as he is up for a new contract. And you want to keep the Greek Freak. If you lose the Greek Freak, your organization goes back to nothing. You know, Giannis is one of those guys who's flat-foot said he would like to play his entire career in Milwaukee, but I always, kind of compare Giannis to LeBron first time around in Cleveland. I think LeBron would have loved to stay in Cleveland for his entire career. Maybe he would have left Cleveland at the end of it and bolted to LA like he did now, right? But I believe LeBron would have never went to Miami had he been able to win rings in Cleveland. But LeBron has admitted it. He couldn't get free agents to sign in Cleveland with him. He couldn't get anybody. Couldn't get Amari. Couldn't get guys in their prime. Couldn't convince Chris Bosh to come to Cleveland. He could only convince Chris Bosh to go to Miami. And I think Giannis is in a similar situation. As great as he is, the Bucks win a lot of regular season games just like that Cleveland Cavaliers team did. But they don't, as of yet, they have not been able to close the deal in the playoffs. We'll see what happens this year. They're going to be the heavily favorites to get out of the East. But, again, going back to Eric Bledsoe, I think it's interesting, right? George Hill has shown he's more than capable of being the starting point guard of that Bucks team. And pretty much they don't seem to miss a beat with George Hill running the offense, with Eric Bledsoe being in and out of the lineup with his various injuries over the last couple years. I like Eric Bledsoe. I don't love him. I've always thought he was a little bit overrated. I would rather have Malcolm Brogdon over Eric Bledsoe, but I can't hate on Bledsoe. He was smart. Him and his agent and his representation was smart. They signed that deal where really nobody was signing. I think he signed last March-ish, right before the playoffs, I remember. He signed that deal. Nobody was signing deals around that time. He probably could have got a little bit more money in free agency, but he didn't want to take that risk. He knew the money was going to dry up in Milwaukee quickly, as Brook Lopez was a free agent last year, a couple other guys as well. He took a little less off the top, but it gave him that extension and that security that he wants. I mean, he's just got generational wealth, $70 million guaranteed. So I ain't mad at it. If I were the Bucks, though, I probably would have wanted Brogdon. But you got Bledsoe on a bit of a discount, so I get why they did it as well. So I'm looking at this Bucks team, and there's rumors around that the Bucks would listen to offers for Eric Bledsoe. If I were the Bucks, I probably don't trade Bledsoe right now. I never see Bledsoe in the midst of those wrestling games. The Milwaukee Bucks have started this thing where they do the little wrestling moves before the game, like they're in the WWE, like the Undertaker and Kane-like stuff. Right, I know Brook Lopez. I was reading him and Robin Lopez. They're both big wrestling fans, and if I'm not mistaken, one of them wants to pursue a career in wrestling after they're done in the NBA. So we'll see what happens there. I guess we got a new Big Show, Andre the Giant. But with that being said, if I don't ever see Eric Bledsoe playing around with the team like that. I'm not saying he's in the loop, or out the loop, but I don't see him as involved with that Bucks nucleus as a couple other guys. I think you could trade Eric Bledsoe. I probably wouldn't do it this time around. Here's the pressure, right? Again, you lost to Kawhi Leonard last year with the Raptors. Kawhi was better than Giannis. Giannis couldn't shoot that 3-ball. It happens. That was the wake-up sign, right? That was the wake-up call. The Bucks have been fantastic this year. Started off kind of ugly, but they got it together quickly. Best record in the NBA. This is the year you got to make it to the finals. You have to make it to the finals. See, LeBron didn't get killed a lot for not making it to the finals after 07, with some of those Cleveland Cavalier teams that was number one in the Eastern Conference by 5, 6, 7, 8 games, because he got to the finals in 07, right, with Boobie Gibson. So LeBron got a pass for a few years. He had to take on those Pistons, those Celtics teams. He got a pass, right? Giannis ain't made it to the finals yet, and he's close to his prime. He's already an MVP in this league. Giannis got to get to the finals at least. I'm not saying he's got to win it, but the Bucks have to improve off last year making it to the Eastern Conference Finals with Kawhi leaving the conference. Giannis clearly the best player in that conference right now. He's the healthiest by far as well. So I think after this year, you got to do whatever it takes. If Eric Bledsoe, if there's any upgrade you can get, if let's say the Bucks get eliminated in the Eastern Conference Finals by the Raptors again. Let's say the Raptors, no Kawhi. Let's say Pascal Siakam, Kyle Lowry, and that veteran group. Let's say they beat the Bucks in 7 games in the conference finals this year. You got problems in Milwaukee. Because now you're entering Giannis' his last season with the team, and with no guarantee that he's going to sign, you got to do whatever it takes to keep the Greek Freak happy. At that point, you would have to bring in another all-star. Again, think about it from Milwaukee's perspective. This small to mid-market team, they would rather not spend money. They'd rather win a championship with the money they spent right now. But think about it. If you're going to keep Giannis and remain relevant in the NBA, because if you lose Giannis, you're back to being one of the 5 worst organizations. And the Bucks were that for a long time. All right, they were awful for a while. You lose Giannis, that's what happens to you again. You're never going to find a guy this great that likes playing in Milwaukee. I like Chris Middleton a lot. I don't love him. And he's gotten his bag too. I don't believe he's an all-star in this league. I believe he plays in the Eastern Conference, and that makes him an all-star in this league, if that makes any sense. You would have to be willing to trade Middleton, Lopez, and Bledsoe if the Bucks don't make it to the finals this year. You would have to then bring in a Bradley Beal, somebody of that ilk that will guarantee you get into the finals in that weaker Eastern Conference. If not, you're going to lose Giannis 2021 100%. So I know the rumors are out there that the Bucks are considering trading Eric Bledsoe. But I say give it this last year. Don't move him this deadline. Give it one more year. Give it one more postseason. And then if not, I'm talking about this summer. The Bucks would need to make a trade. Giannis would need a whole year with another all-star caliber guy. And I don't care what it would take. You cannot lose Giannis if you're the Milwaukee Bucks. You cannot allow what happened in Cleveland. Remember when LeBron left Cleveland for Miami? That organization, the businesses, the small market businesses, I mean, literally people lost jobs because LeBron brought so much money to that economy. Milwaukee can't afford that right now. You have to get the big fella some help if you can't make it to the finals this year. You into sports, we got you. NFL news, I got you. NBA news, NBA highlights, NBA full coverage, feature stories, all that great stuff, I got you. We even got a little bit of Madden and 2K mixed in. Subscribe to this platform, and I got you. More quality content on the way. Subscribe.